Hola, ¿qué tal? Soy Carlos, bienvenidos a una edición más de Metal Remains on the Road. Me encuentro en New York City y en esta ocasión me dirijo hacia un venue que se llama Nublo, en una sección de Nueva York que se llama Alphabet City. Me dirijo no a un show de metal, sino más bien a una experiencia, una jazz metal ópera que se llama La Suspendida. Acompáñenme para ver de qué se trata todo esto. Bien, ya hemos llegado al lugar, a Nublo, donde se va a desarrollar el evento de hoy. Hasta donde tenemos información, es un evento exclusivo porque no se han anunciado fechas en ningún otro lugar. Y he llegado temprano porque probablemente tenga la oportunidad de entrevistar a alguien que está en la producción del evento. Hello everybody, we are here at Nublo before the show starts, and can you introduce yourself, each one of you?
Of course, I'm Laurent David, bass player of the jazz metal trio I created here in New York that is called Kilter.
My name is Kenny Grahowski. I'm the drummer of that trio.
And I'm William Berger, the librettist of La Suspendida.
And I'm Ed Rosenberg, bass saxophone player of Kilter.
Awesome, great, thank you. Nice to meet you all. La Suspendida is a jazz metal opera that we're about to experience live. But before that, can you please tell us a little bit about what you do besides this project?
I'm a commentator and writer for the Metropolitan Opera.
I'm a composer and saxophone player and write music for kids' podcasts.
Play drums in other bands other than this band. Some you might have heard of. Guys like John Zorn, played in Brand X for a little bit, played in Imperial Triumphant, Titans Attackians. Drums. Lots of drums.
Lots of drums.
Lots of drums.
I used to play with many other bands, but with La Suspendida it takes all my time, so for now I would say that it's my day job.
It's your full-time job? Great.
Everyone fucks the dead, you're suffering to the
Let's now talk about what is the concept behind La Suspendida.
The idea was to take the music that we were writing and that we were interested in and applying it to the idea of an opera. So not to change anything about the world of the music that we were playing, but to try to develop it into a narrative and go along with the story of an opera.
The story developed by being a story that could only be told fully with the music they were creating for it. Because it's not your everyday narrative. What we're talking about is a person discovering their own power after death. And so we needed different ways of expressing that than any music that we knew had ever been written. And that's how it went from being an idea to a jazz metal opera.
We understand this is an exclusive show here at Nublo in New York City. Is there a plan in the future to take the experience to other places?
Make us an offer.
I already had the experience to play that and to film a live video in a bigger venue in Paris. in 2023. And yes, of course, the idea with that is to go on the project and to try to put that in bigger venues like in theaters or with dancers, like a bigger opera, you know, something in a big place. That's the idea. So we'll see, step by step.
All right. What do you hope the audience will, who will witness the opera today, will remember about this performance?
That they just experienced something they're never going to see again. They just saw something new. They felt something new. You know, music today now is in a place where, you know, the barriers are open. The way technology is, the way the generations are, you know, it's not like it was. It's all open, and people are already prepared for there to be multidimensionality because there's so little of it in the real world anymore. So now that the technology and the people are here, it's going to speak to them. Like, this is music for people to come. You know, this isn't for the people now. They're lost. They're lost causes. It's for the people to come.
One of the topics that came up quite often when we're working on this was the idea of acceptance and moving toward a place and growth, your own personal growth in terms of relation to, like he says, life, death, genres of music, generations, all these things. So I think new ways of looking at things are possible, and that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I agree.
And I would like to wrap up this chat with our signature question that we ask to every artist I have an opportunity to talk to. And that is, can you share with us one of your favorite backstage moments?
There was this one time I played a gig in Germany with this band, Jersey Band. This is over 10 years ago now. And the backstage door happened to open right out to the audience. And so what that enabled us to do was, after the performance, when the audience was applauding, we could make a bunch of crazy noise backstage and then just open the door and then close it. And it sort of became a new instrument for us in that performance, where we were like opening and closing the door, making crazy noise. Somebody would run out and run around the audience, run back in. It is just by virtue of the club, but it's one that always stuck with me. We called it the Jazz Launch.
There is that festival in France that is called Cosmo Jazz, and the backstage of that festival is the mountains. And that's just crazy because you have the stage, the audience, and you are just behind the stage, and you can see, you know, the sky, the snow, and the mountains. I think that's the most incredible place where you can play in a festival.
I've been thinking this whole time, I still don't got much. Because all the ones I thought of were like, no, just no. People don't need to know about that shit. Ooh. Weirdly enough, the Hotel Coffee in Halifax for their jazz fest that they had up there, I remember catching a coffee with Dan Weiss, and he was adamant that we have to drink this, and he's pretty... It's a coffee, it can be a bit intense, and he was just enamored with the way the barista would like get the grinds out of the grinder, because he would do it all in clave, and he would have this rhythm, and he'd do this little dance with it. He had no idea that he was doing that. It was just every time he made a drink, he would do that. So Dan just kept ordering espresso shots just so he can listen to this guy play clave on the coffee grinder. It was amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's at least PG. That's pretty PG.
Yeah. Where I usually am backstage at the opera is a place of great nerves and tension and ego explosion and ego management and competition and this, and I'm talking about right before people go on stage. And I've had the experience of talking people out onto the stage who were just, one guy was making a debut and he was ready to, that's it, I'm leaving. And the way I got him on the stage was I told him, look, that place, that mystical space is not a place of charity. And you were picked to be there because somebody thought you were the best, but it's a place for you to perform service. And that sort of got his ego in check. And then later I started thinking about it myself. It's like anytime you put anything on stage or go on stage yourself, your ego, whatever, it's there. You got to get it to propel. You've got to have it to propel yourself out there. But once you're there, it's not about, gee, I hope people like me, because they won't. They'll hate you unless you give them something that's of use to them. And that gets me through every day of my work. And it's something that really came up a lot even when I was writing for the stage for this piece. Could I use my hands a little more?
I think we're good. Yeah. Thank you for making time for us today.
Of course.
And thank you for sharing all those details. And let's now get ready to experience the jazz metal opera, La Suspendida.
Thank you.
Claro que sí.
Yeah.
Órale.
Awesome. Bueno, voy a tratar de resumir lo que acaba de suceder. La Suspendida es una ópera en jazz y metal con la participación de muchos artistas. La base, digamos que es este trío de jazz avant-garde que se llama Kilter, donde probablemente la cara más reconocible es su baterista, Kenny Grohowski, ya que es el baterista de la banda Imperial Triumphant también. Esta obra fue producida por Lauren David, quien es el bajista de este trío. La vocalista o digamos personaje principal de la ópera está representado por esta artista que se llama Andrómeda Anarquia, quien es una vocalista soprano que tiene la capacidad de hacer guturales y muchos sonidos cautivantes también con su voz. Tenemos a un coro de growlers, así se llama, Growlers Choir, que son vocalistas de metal y se dedican a hacer estos coros, ¿no? Muy interesante, muy variado, muy cautivante también. Y tenemos a un cuarteto de cuerdas que se llama Seven Sons, donde hay un cello y 3 violines. Todos estos artistas son los que participan en esta magistral obra que te saca de tu ser, te hace olvidarte de lo que hay afuera, te dedicas, te concentras enteramente a vivir el momento, a tratar de percibir todos los detalles y todas las cosas que están sucediendo con esta obra. Realmente cumplen su objetivo con el hecho de que te hacen olvidar el tiempo y todas las cosas que hay en tu vida, porque te concentras y te cautiva con lo que está sucediendo, con su desempeño en el momento que uno está viendo esta obra. Me gustó mucho la capacidad vocal tanto del coro como de la soprano. Hacen unos sonidos que probablemente yo jamás había oído. Y para que tengan una idea de qué se trata el plot o la historia de esta ópera, pues es un poco retorcido, digámoslo así, pero interesante a la vez. Cuenta la historia de una joven que fallece, que se llama María Elena, y muere al parecer de tuberculosis. Y pues cuando muere, según esta obra, las almas de los muertos pues tienen que ir al reino de los muertos. Esta persona que ha fallecido decide no entrar, no pasar el gate o las puertas hacia el reino de los muertos, porque el doctor que la estaba tratando se había enamorado de ella y conserva el cuerpo de la fallecida y continúa teniendo relaciones amorosas con ella después de la muerte, y esto como que le crea algún tipo de conciencia a ella y le da algún cierto tipo de poder, y es por esto que no quiere entrar al reino de los muertos, porque se siente diferente, se siente que puede hacer cosas que los muertos no pueden hacer. De eso se trata la obra y cómo se va desarrollando y cómo el reino de los muertos la está tratando de convencer porque entre, ella se niega. En fin, es una cosa bien interesante lo que sucede, la interacción entre María Elena, en este caso la soprano, interpretada por Andrómeda, y el coro de los muertos, que es el coro de los growlers que está ahí. Es una cosa impactante, impresionante. Es algo que yo nunca había vivido antes y me pareció algo completamente diferente, alucinante. Tuvimos la oportunidad de platicar con algunas de las personas involucradas en este proyecto. La entrevista está ahí, tuvimos una conversación muy amena. Me pareció que estas personas gravitan en un área de la cultura donde aflora, ¿no? Eso, y se siente en el ambiente cuando uno está platicando con ellos. Eso se siente un aura bastante cultural, no sé, diferente a lo que normalmente está uno acostumbrado. Así es que me gustó mucho la experiencia. Si esta obra la llegaran a llevar en vivo a otros lugares, pues me encantaría que las personas tuvieran la oportunidad de vivirla, porque es una experiencia inolvidable. Gracias por haber visto este reportaje de este show. Espero que les haya gustado, les haya dado curiosidad, y nos vemos en el siguiente video. Por hasta entonces, stay metal.